Hi, how are you? I am Arik Bensimon, the chef from Napa and Company in Stamford, Connecticut, and today we are going to prepare for you a roasted wild striped bass with polenta and wild mushrooms. So over here, I already started the polenta, and the way I did this was I took a little bit of chicken broth, brought it up to a boil with a pinch of salt, and just streamed in the polenta and whisked it so there's no lumps. We're going to let this cook off, and we are going to start off with the mushrooms. So for the mushrooms today, we're going to use some hen of the wood mushrooms and some yellowfoot mushrooms. So over here we have a warm pan, and to this we're going to add a little bit of olive oil. We're going to start off with these beautiful hen of the wood mushrooms over here. The mushrooms that we're looking for is, want to get them nice and crispy on the edges. So this is going to take a few minutes. We're going to add a little bit of whole butter to the pan. One clove of garlic and a few sprigs of thyme. Add a little bit more butter. Now while these mushrooms are going, I'm going to get started on the bass. So the thing when you're cooking a piece of fish like this, you really want to get the pan nice and hot, just until your oil starts to smoke. Then we're going to add the fish skin side down, get a nice crispy skin, and that's it. We're going to throw it in the oven for a few minutes until it cooks through. Just make sure our polenta doesn't burn. Just keep on whisking it is the main thing over here. So basically we want to season this on both sides with salt. Just make sure you get the salt nice and even. A little bit of salt over here. And personal preference, I just like to put salt on the flesh side, not on the skin side, because we're going to cook the fish on the skin side in a hot pan, and we don't want to burn the pepper. And we're just going to flip it over briefly on the flesh side. So a little bit of oil, nice and hot. You just put the vent on. It's a little too hot, but it'll be okay. So over here, see, nice hot pan. We're gonna add our fish skin side down. Now you're gonna see the fish begin to curl up a little bit. That's a good sign, actually. That means that your fish is really fresh. So we're just going to gently press it down. This is a good time to take out the batteries from your smoke alarm if you don't want them to go off. It's all right. You'll have a nice piece of fish at the end. Give our mushrooms a mix. So we're going to leave it over here. We're going to bring the pan back up to temperature and then put it in the oven until the fish is cooked through. So in the meantime, we're going to finish off seasoning our polenta. So to the polenta, I like to add a little bit of fresh butter, a touch of mascarpone cheese. Some people don't like to mix cheese and fish. I honestly, personally don't mind. It just kind of brings the whole polenta together. I'm just going to whisk that in. And we're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I like to turn the heat off, and we're just going to take one of these zesters and zest in a little bit of Parmesan. I'm going to give this a quick taste. Tastes really good. And that's it. All right, so we're gonna just check on our fish, and it seems to be pretty much there. So the last step for the cooking of the fish is to add some fresh butter. And we're just gonna baste it in this butter. A little bit of garlic and thyme. We're gonna get that nice and melted, and once the butter starts to foam up, you just wanna baste the fish with it. I'm gonna do this to both of them. And then after this, we're gonna finish off our mushroom ragu. So I'm gonna finish these off over here. So to our mushrooms, what we want to add is we have a little bit of Spanish ham. So we're just going to throw some of this inside. It's going to give it a really nice flavor. Then we have a little bit of chicken jus. And this is pretty much just made by roasting chickens, some chicken bones, and then covering them with some water, lots of garlic and thyme, and just cooking it for hours until it looks like this. We're gonna add about a couple spoons of this to the mushrooms. And this is gonna be our sauce as well for the fish. And that's it. So you can see the fish has a nice crispy skin on top. And you just, keep basting it like this as much as you can. The more you can do it, the better off you are. All right, here we go. And now for the plating of our fish, we're gonna start with some of the polenta we made. If this gets too tight, you can always loosen it up with a little more stock or water. And we're just gonna spoon some of this on the bottom of the plate. Just like that. We have some of our mushrooms over here. It's just gonna go around and on top of the polenta. Just like that. And we want to try to get some of these this juice on the bottom. Yeah, I like to add a few raw spinach leaves right on top of the polenta. Just like that. And then just our fish right on top, and that's it. There you go.